Good night, everyone. We have the Max Rando tournament of the Zelda 2 Randomizer. I'm joined here today by Mr. Duster W. How is everything going, Mr. Duster W?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Yeah, everything is well. So we'll see the guys start at any moment. As you can see on the tracker, we've got two crystals to place. The players will start with the glove, thunder, shield, jump, and reflect, and five heart containers. So it looks pretty easy, but this game can throw surprises every here and then.
Yes, in a particular note, all the spells that were randomly started with were given on what would normally be the eastern continent, so they only need to worry about finding the west continent towns and spelling. But even then, they only need to find fairy if it's even required, so we may be looking at a pretty quick one tonight.
Yeah, I guess the priority is to find GP at this point and see if they need the raft. So we've got the boots in Pivot Cave, which these guys both get.
And I do have to apologize. I'm having some slight stream problems. Working on getting those straightened out right.
Yeah, my stream went offline too, so you're probably not alone. So we have Magic Container Cave, in which BuzzThunder is right now, but he's greeted by two gorillas, which are pretty hard to deal with in the dark, but he's doing a pretty good job. And he finds the flute. So BuzzThunder enters the town of Saria. He's looking for some hints and the spell out of it, which is a free spell, and it is not one of the spells he started with, so he can get it. He's probably hoping for the fairy spell, which could be required. And it is the fairy spell. So at this point, the thing that can hold these players up is the raft. Still don't know where it could be, but well, we just started, so there are a lot of places where that thing could be. So BuzzThunder taking a quick peek in that mountain. He gets out of there immediately. You don't want to be there, especially with all the stuff you have. The town of Rando. He stops there, contemplating the idea of getting the hints, or maybe the hint about the spelling there, but not worth it for him. And we see a rock blocked cave. And this is Medicine Cave.
Alright, hopefully I'm back.
Yes, I can hear you, man. So welcome back. We have a 500 feedback cave in Medicine Cave, which is pretty useful at this stage.
And at the same time, BGT getting a hint that Horsehead has the 500 point bag as well, so that's our item in 1. So it's interesting to think that our players could have been in go mode at 3 minutes, assuming the raft's not.
Yeah, I believe we haven't seen any palaces, have we?
Both players have found 5, so it's still too early to say for sure, but there's always that possibility. We've got BuzzThunder going through the fairy cave connector. And it looks like new territory. Meanwhile, BGT finds Badu, so he can go through.
I believe BuzzThunder ended up in the same place because he's now taking the Parappa connector.
Yeah, and we see BGT dropping in the west end of the cave. And there's our other 2 palaces right next to each other. We have which Buzz decides to dive into.
Yeah, having fairy and only 2 places, 2 gems to place, this is the right move at this point.
And D-Pad in chat pointing out that Unos is already on Eastern Continent, but at the same time Larry's still in North Palace.
Definitely.
So I don't believe Buzz has gotten the hint that Palace 1 has a 500 point P bag. So he may be looking for the item, hoping for, I don't know, maybe the raft is all he's hoping for right now.
Yeah,
That
this
hammer's
part,
probably in the back of his mind.
yeah, it is the only thing he's needing, he's requiring at this point, so Palace 1 is a good idea to look for it.
And BGT gets the hint Rebanek rides with the magic key. So that's going to be our item in 3. And Buzz comes across Horsehead. So I'd expect him to pop on out and see what that other palace is. And if it's not GP, then maybe he'll dive back in hoping it's for something. Again, I don't think he got the hint that there's a 500 point P bag in there.
So, that mountain holds the raft. Wow, what a hint. And this was the town that BuzzThunder turned down for some reason.
Okay, and our other palace is either 3 or 6, so this will be interesting to see how this plays out. And it is the spell from Rao.
So this looks like Palace 6, if I'm not wrong.
You are correct.
Nope. I forgot to check if they started with downstep or upstep. I'm guessing they started at least with downstep because I see BuzzThunder using it. But
Right,
he gets out of the...
And he's heading into 1 to look for that item. So yeah, him not getting that hint in Rauru could be a deciding factor.
So at this point, bentglasstube doesn't have the fairy spell nor the flute. Both could be required. And I don't know why he didn't found them. I guess it was a navigation choice. And BuzzThunder doesn't know about the raft being in Dead Mountain, so we see bentglasstube looking for it. And the item we want, which we know is a 500 payback, which could be useful, but we'll see if he up an ace after he gets it. But he won't be able to get it because he's in fairy mode, so he gets out of there.
And I am unfortunately needing the multi-twitch to watch this, and the face he made was priceless.
So having the boots in Dead Mountain is pretty good. However, the players don't have the hammer, so that could be required, and that could be in one of the other palaces we have in this continent. So we'll see what this seed leads up to. There's the rock, we see it, but we cannot break it.
So yeah, both players definitely hoping that that raft's not hammered. So we did see that other hammer blocked cave too, so that's got to be on. Well, at least Buzz, since BGT did get the hint about the raft.
So the Alan Heffley is saying in chat that all the faces are priceless. I don't know what he's talking about. Can you tell me what he's talking about?
Assuming it's in reference to the faces the players make when they have some trying times, we'll say.
Oh.
And it just occurred to me that for some reason I was only in Buzz's chat. I didn't have the other chat.
Yeah, one of the best players to see play this game is Dick Shake. His faces are priceless, and the dances he does when he finds something valuable are pretty cool. So we see both players in that mountain. bentglasstube has explored a lot more than what BuzzThunder has just started to.
And he finds Hammer Cave.
Yeah, right next to the rock. That doesn't happen too often, but it does. So we'll see if the players will have to look for the hammer. Who knows where.
Alright, and Tramp Royale with a question in chat. We're coming up on 18 minutes into the...
Yeah, that was my fault. I'm gonna fix it.
We're about to see the item here in Death Mount. And it is the raft, so we do not need to worry about the hammer. Pick up A, and I'm sure he's headed straight to east.
So you can see how this game is very luck based. bentglasstube spent a lot of time in that mountain, and he found a raft, but BuzzThunder at any moment can find it, and he can kind of cut the lead.
And BGT about to get the fairy spell, which I think will squarely put him in the lead in that. And there's Buzz finding Hammer.
Yeah, let's see if bentglasstube stays for the flute, if he just goes to the east. We see bentglasstube near the star. He still knows he hasn't found some of the caves.
And he could still be looking for the raft tile too. I don't believe we've seen it, but it is very possible I missed it with the stream problems I had. And so Buzz is first to go. And it's a good thing they got boots early, because it is absolutely required. And BGT diving on into 5.
So at this point, what is the worst case scenario? I haven't seen them use Abstab, and well, GP could be hidden behind the three-eyed rock. However, BuzzThunder has the flute.
Yes, and BGT did grab it too. So worst case scenario, GP is on Maze Island, which is, through a golden cave somewhere on the east. But even then, I don't think that's necessarily worst case scenario. It's just hard to think of what the seed could be throwing at them at this point. It's been pretty generous thus far. I mean, save for Raft and Death Mountain.
Yeah, but they got the hint for it to compensate. Well, bentglasstube did. I didn't see BuzzThunder get it. He went to the right place though. So what do you think about digging Palace 5 in a race like this?
And given what he has, it's certainly not a choice I'd make, because there's much easier crystals to place, and I don't think he really needs anything else at this point. He has all 3 spells that he could potentially need, which without 6 gems, reflect isn't even necessary. So, I don't know. And you could certainly be hoping for an easy 5, but that's kind of like hoping to not deal with customers that are jerks at work.
Yeah, that almost never happens.
BGT trying to check the dripper enemy, but not gonna happen in that.
And in some other news, in BuzzThunder chat, Dickshake enters and says, "Looking sexy."
Oh yeah, I gotta agree, Buzz is probably the sexiest man on. And he does come across Maze Island. And it is Palace 3, which we got the hint that it is the magic key in there. But Palace 3 is only 14 rooms long, so it's probably a really good one to dive and place the crystal there.
Yeah, having the glove, it is a no-brainer to go in there.
And so it does confirm they did start with upstab as well.
So yeah, that's why BuzzThunder has been refusing to go into towns, at least. So he has nothing to worry about. Maybe misplacing Great Palace somehow, or something tragic happening like that. And we see Ribbonek.
And BGT still playing around in Palace 5. I think this was not a good call, and it's going to cost him a lot. Buzz has placed both his gems and just needs to find G. Oh, and good save with the fairy spell there. And he does finally find Goom.
Yeah, in all of this Max Rando tournament, he's been fighting Guma pretty early. This time he has the levels to do it, but we'll see if he succeeds.
Oh, takes an unfortunate.
we'll see how many rounds we have here. On the first race, I believe we got 17 rounds of Guma fight.
Buzz popped into 4 briefly, immediately noped out. So I believe that confirms that the GP is in. And indeed it is.
So yeah, BuzzThunder entering GP on 30 minutes.
So yeah, and Max Rando especially, GP is the great equalizer, so can't discount BGT just yet.
So we've seen one of the 3 dead ends on the right on Great Palace, the ones with the blocks. And BuzzThunder is kind of forced to go left.
Yes, and he does have one other left he can still take if this one doesn't work out. Finds the Jackamus room. And BGT does take down Guma, but that was still quite a bit.
So we see the Eon drop. I believe he hasn't taken any drops yet, right?
Not yet.
And we haven't seen any drop destinations either.
I believe we did see one, but I might be mistaken.
And BuzzThunder loops into the Jackimus room. He's taking notes.
Yeah, he's pretty thorough with his mapping, so he should know that he's got 2 lefts he can still check. And looks like he's heading towards the Eon drop. Can't say I disagree.
Yeah, the lefts he could have taken were pretty far from there, I guess. And this leads him into the top of the L7, which leads to the bottom of the L7.
wanders into the fairy room.
And
See
we
if he
see
goes up for damage.
Getting into Palace 1. It is a pretty short palace, so he will be probably in Great Palace in some minutes.
And that spicy chicken giving Buzz just a little bit of a... But he does make it on past. There's the second dead end.
So we're missing 2 drops. Both are the ones that have blocks on them. Maybe we've seen the what we call now the trails drop, but I'm not sure. And the other place we're missing is one of the left dead ends. The first one we saw, we don't know if it had the enemy or the jar, because the BuzzThunder doesn't have the cross, so it could have been a MOA, but well, BuzzThunder now finds Thunderbird, which is required, so he's in the right way.
Are you sure it's required?
Oh, sorry. I misplaced the... I'm in the wrong tournament at this point. I played a bracket standard seed this afternoon, so I'm still in that world. So we see bentglasstube fighting Corset.
And BGT takes down Sarah Jessica Park. Jumps over the gem placement and looks very confused. Wanders back to place.
So this is one of the drops we haven't seen, I believe, and it leads him into the other drop. And all that leads to a dead end. But we still have the trails room to the left, which always is the answer. So we'll see. We should run an statistics that prove that this room is always the answer. I bet we'll get surprising results about it.
I don't know, you can't discount always take Eon and left at Fairy either.
So we'll see how long it takes for bentglasstube to find Great Palace. We know it is on Dead Valley.
So I believe that is the fourth elevator room that BuzzThunder just came through. Oh no, it's just a huge loop there.
Yeah, at this point, asking yourself how to get out of there is pretty hard. Thankfully he writes notes. If for me it would be very hard to remember what I left undone.
Yeah, that's one thing I really need to start doing is taking notes and making maps. And you can see why this is called a fun room. Got those bird nights right. And that leads to another dead end.
So what will be your move at this point, Duster?
Well, since I haven't been mapping, it's hard for me to tell. I do believe he has one other left he can take coming up here. But I may be thinking about how it looped into the and the bus is just absolutely pouring over his map.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has already been here. So yeah, maybe taking a nap is the best thing.
I gotta say, I'm not even playing, and this GP is raising my blood pressure. So here is that left I was talking about.
And BuzzThunder finding a magic container on the desert tile. Sorry, bentglasstube.
I definitely won't turn down freaking. But we'll turn down a 500p bag that you serve.
And there he is.
Dark Link.
So yeah, this was pretty short if you knew the way. And it wasn't a weird way. Well, you had to take a conspicuous left, I believe, but it wasn't that bad, and it made him lose like 10 minutes inside and despair. But yeah,
So
GG to
BuzzThunder
BuzzThunder.
does finish up with an SRL time of 44 minutes and 29 seconds. So get your GG.
it's fireworks time. And we have bentglasstube on GP, 45 minutes and 46 seconds, I guess. So we see bentglasstube finding his first dead end. Let's see if he does the giant loop that BuzzThunder had to do, or if he finds the answer pretty quickly.
Welcome, Buzz. GG, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Do, or if he finds the answer pretty quickly.
How was yeah. What'd you guys see
Welcome,
from the
Buzz.
outside?
GG, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So early game, we had to put BGT ahead of you because you
How
got a
was
couple of
yeah. What'd
kind
you
of
guys
key
see
hints
from the
that you,
outside?
mainly that Raft was in Death Mountain.
Oh,
So
that the
early
raft was in
game,
Death
we had
Mountain. Yeah.
to put BGT
Yeah,
ahead of
I
you
got lucky in that
because you got a
situation
couple of
because I was
kind of
just like, oh,
key
I'll
hints
peek
that
around for a
you,
little bit, and then I was close to a
mainly
level,
that
and I was like, all
Raft
right,
was in
I'll
Death
keep
Mountain.
peeking around till I get this Oh, level. that the raft was in And Death then Mountain. Yeah. luckily I found Hammer Cave, and that was the right draw
I
because
got
the whole
lucky
time
in
I
that
was like, I should be
situation
going into 5
because I was
right
just like,
now
oh, I'll peek around for a little bit,
because
and
I
then I
needed
was
to place
close to
another
a level,
gem.
and I was like,
You
all
know,
right,
the
I'll
odds are
keep
better that
peeking
it's
around
in
till I get
there.
this level.
But
And then luckily I
guess I
found
got
Hammer
lucky.
Cave, and that was the right draw because the whole time I was like, I should be going into 5 I have a
right now
question. I didn't
because
see
I
you
needed to place another
enter
gem.
Raru.
You know, the odds are better that
Did
it's
you
in
go in
there.
there?
But I did, yeah. I
Guess
went
I
in
got
there and then
lucky.
I left. I didn't do anything in there.
I have a question.
Because this
Raru
seed
had
it
this.
gave you everything, and at that point I was like, I'm not
Did
gonna
you
do
go in
anything
there?
else. I'm just gonna
I
go.
did, yeah. I went in there
Yeah,
and then
even
I
it
left.
gave you a
I didn't
hint
do
about the
anything in there.
rafting Raru, so
Ah,
because
see,
this
that would
seed
have been worth
gave
going in there.
you everything,
But
and at
luckily
that
that
point
didn't
I was like,
affect me.
I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah,
So I just got kind of
it
lucky,
gave you
and
a hint
I did
about the
see every single room in Great Palace though.
Ah,
That's
see,
a
that
lot of
would have
fun.
been worth going
Yeah,
that
especially
giant
when
loop
the
in there.
right path is
But
just an
luckily that
immediate
didn't
left,
affect me.
and there.
Yeah, it was only like 4 rooms or
just got
something.
kind of
Really,
lucky.
like after
And
T-Bird,
I
it
did
throws you
see
into
every
all these
single room in
drops
Great
and then
Palace, though.
like
That's a lot of
a
fun.
dead end, a left turn elevator, and it's like it's I got to run into it eventually, but it's like such a huge loop after T-Bird. Like that was one of the I've never seen a loop like that. That was really impressive.
Yeah, I saw on your cam you were looking pretty confused there for a little.
Yeah, because I mismarked the entrance. At the entrance there's two splits at the beginning, and I didn't mark the first one, so I was like, "Oh, I know there's another left turn there, and I didn't mark the left when I first came in, so I was kind of confused for a minute, but then I realized where to go. How's BGT doing? Is he in Great Palace?
Yeah, he
He
entered
is. He just passed Eon Drop not too terribly long ago, so he's in that big loop right now.
Yeah, it's a really good palace because yeah, the Eon drop is a good loop, and then yeah, post T-Bird drops you all the way back there too. So it's just a super loopy palace, and then your only way out to Darklink is that immediate left, which is pretty cool.
And he did up A and is taking that immediate left, so he'll be finishing up here pretty.
Nice.
Yeah, he game overed, so this is kind of an accident. And also, he entered Great Palace like 4 minutes ago. So yeah, if he finds Darkling soon, which I believe he will, this was a very good GP for him.
Nice. So who won that race earlier? Don't I face one of those guys? Or
To be
did I read the
perfectly
schedule
honest, I
wrong?
haven't kept up on it nearly as much as I'd like to have.
I
I've
thought
just
that
been way too busy.
I thought that I faced Jay Coper versus Schmitty. I thought they played earlier. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but your match started and they were still doing things because they got a 6 gem match.
Oh, okay.
So
They were still in it. All right. So
All right, and Alan telling us that Schmitty won.
Schmitty won. Okay. How about that? So that's my opponent.
yeah, he got the glove earlier, a little bit earlier, but he didn't have that much of a lead. Something else should have happened after that.
And I'm starting to think we might want to overturn the results of this because BGT is man moding Dark.
Oh, he is. What a badass.
Let's take a death, but right back into.
So, BuzzThunder, how is your strategy to man mode Darkling?
My strategy? You jump around a lot. That's really all I know. The first time I beat this game, it was I beat it that way. It took me forever to. I started playing this game when I was in high school. It took me forever to complete it because Dark Link was just so difficult.
Yeah, my first time beating it, uh, geez, I was still really young. It was not too long after it came out, I would guess. And it was back when Nintendo had a hotline you could call, and it was a long distance call, and I had to call that up and ask them how to beat Link's Shadow. Was exactly how I.
Wow.
So at that time that they knew about, they could tell you to stand in the corner on the hotline.
That's exactly what they told.
Yeah.
Well, they said crouch in the corner.
Yeah, that's the. I remember when I figured that out, I was like, "Oh, that just kind of defeats this, the boss." But yeah, it took me a really long time to beat him normally.
Yeah, these days I just found out that something that helps a lot with Darkling is doing neutral jumps. I mean, like jumping with your momentum, but when you jump, releasing the the D-pad, so he doesn't know what you're gonna do, and yeah, that helps you get more hits out of him.
Yeah, that is one thing this game is known for is input reading.
All
And
right, thanks
next
for.
hit wins the. Yeah, thank you for joining us and for racing.
And GG to bentglasstube, who finishes with an SRL time of 54 minutes and 57 seconds. and he chose us the fairy glitch at the end, so we won't get the ending credits. And yeah, this was a pretty close fight. I don't know if he was in his last life. I don't believe he was, but yeah, pretty brave.
Well, you get like 10 minutes knocked off your time if you fight him that way, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting learning how to fight him that way, and I try not to not do it, but I don't know. Sometimes my blood pressure gets too high, especially after a GP like that, and just watching that really raised my